I've got 3 chords. Let's see how quickly I can create a backing track using the DigiTech Trio Plus. Hey guys, my name's Dave, and in this video I'm going to be doing a demo and review of the DigiTech Trio Plus Band Creator and Looper. I've been testing this out for about a month now, and this is much more than just a regular looper pedal, but rather a tool designed to enhance the creativity and practice routines for guitarists looking to take their songwriting and improv skills to the next level. But if you want to use it as a regular looper pedal, you can absolutely do that as well. As I demoed at the start of the video, the main feature of this pedal is its ability to instantly create a drum and bass backing track out of your chord progression or song idea, simulating a trio band ensemble with you being the guitarist, of course. Now, for many guitarists, learning their favorite songs is the first step on guitar, but the natural progression after that is to start being creative by writing your own songs and learning how to express yourself with the instrument. And this tool really nurtures that. The pedal works with both acoustic and electric guitar, but I think you can very much have a lot more fun with an electric guitar. So I'll first showcase how this pedal works. I'll run you through an example. I'll then speak about the ideal gear setups and the bare basics you'd need to make the most out of this pedal, because I think that does require some consideration. And then I'll speak about the pros and cons and who this pedal would be suitable for. Now let's actually use the pedal and make some music. Here are the steps. Step 1, let's create a part. You'll see that the band LED is slowly flashing red, and this means that the band hasn't learned our part yet. Tap it once and it'll start flashing quickly. That will arm the band. They're now ready to learn and will start listening as soon as they receive a signal through your guitar. So let's play a part. So now the Trio Plus has learnt our part and plays you a groove based off that guitar part. This is step 1 done, and our band knows what's up and has given us a range of options to work with. So let's move on to step 2, refining the band. Let's see how we can easily change things up. First, I'm going to toggle through the different style options I've been given. The green ones are 4/4 timing and the orange ones are 3/4 timing. This one sounds nice, so let's roll with that. We can also experiment with alternative timing by tapping this button, or adjust the intensity by tapping the part button. If we want to switch genres entirely, we can also do that. But let's move back to our original. Now I don't mind the bass part, but let's see what other options we have. So tap the simple bass option and it'll give us 2 variations. Okay, I like this one, not too much going on. Let's move forward with that. Now using the tempo knob, we can speed things up or slow things down too, which is awesome. All right, now that I'm happy with my band, I'll move on to step 3, loop my guitar part. Now the looper acts much the same way as any standard looper with overdub capabilities. Before we begin, it's important to adjust the tempo knob so that the audio elastic LED is off. To do that, just ensure it's set at 12 o'clock. Now I'm going to add a count in for my loop at the same tempo as my band. Press and hold the part button and you'll see it flashing in time with the beat. Now let's arm the looper by pressing the looper button and you'll see it flashing red. Now when we press the band, it'll give us a 4-beat count in and we can record our loop. So that's one way to record the loop. Alternatively, we can start the band and then tap the looper button to arm the looper. And this is helpful if you want to get a feel for the groove before recording your loop. So let's try that. Okay, let's now add a little overdub. Now we can improvise and jam to our heart's content if we want, but let's take it one step further and build out a song. So step 4, building out more song parts. Let's say we have another progression for this song. Let's tap the second song part. Now we can make this as different to the original song part as we want. That means we can change the tempo, genre, style, and everything. But for consistency, let's match our tempo, genre, and style. We're now repeating steps 1 to 3, but we first need a count in to help us match our tempo to our previous part. And this is easy. Simply hold down the part button and the metronome will start playing at the same tempo as our previous part. Once you're ready to go, press the band foot switch to arm the band for learning and off we go. Now that we have our 2 song parts, we can toggle between them by tapping the part button, or during playback, you can toggle between your parts by holding down the band button like this. Now, our final step 5 is to structure the song if we want to automatically switch between sections. And this is completely optional, but it is handy if you want to focus on playing and have a predefined structure. So tap sequence and the sequence button will start flashing. Now you can tap the sequence of your song parts. Let's tap the first song part twice, the second song part once, and then return back to the first song part once. Once you're happy with the sequence, tap that sequence button again. Now, if you tap the band button, it's going to play in that predefined song order. To disable the sequence and toggle between parts on the fly, simply stop playback and tap the sequence button so that it's off. In terms of saving data and loops, there's nothing you need to do. Everything is instantly stored. Even if you pull the power from the pedal, it'll be there waiting for you when you come back. If you're happy with your song and you want to start fresh on a new project, simply tap the song button to move to an empty song slot. Okay, now let's quickly talk about the most common gear setups that work with this pedal and also tips on connecting everything up. Now, before we dive into the setups, it's worth mentioning that you get the best results teaching the band with the guitar plugged directly into the input, meaning it should be a completely dry guitar signal going into the input of the pedal. You should not place any modeling or effects before going into the Trio Plus. Now, first off, if you don't have a lot of gear, the good news is that you can still use this pedal right out of the box. So this is setup number one with the guitar, a guitar lead, and headphones. That's all you need in order to be able to use this pedal. The limitation here, of course, is that the output is through headphones, and you are limited in terms of guitar tone to the inbuilt effects options on the unit. Green indicates the rhythm effect activated, and red indicates the lead effect activated. It's worth noting that each genre has two different inbuilt effects on the pedal. So if I switch to another genre, you'll hear that there's now a different inbuilt rhythm and lead tone. Let's listen to a couple of the inbuilt tones that are recorded directly to an interface. So this would be more or less what you'd hear if you were playing this through headphones or through a PA system. The downside is that this is very limited, and if you liked a tone from the metal genre, for example, but you wanted your band to be playing in the hip hop genre, then you're not able to do that. The workaround is that you could record a loop using that tone, but the band won't be playing your preferred beat. And then once the loop is in, you could switch to your preferred band genre. Next is setup number two, which is more or less the same. It's quiet practice. However, this setup is for those who might have their own floor pedals or effects units that they might want to use. Now, as mentioned before, we don't place any amp modeling or effects before going into the Trio Plus. That's what the FX send and return jacks are designed for on this pedal. So here I've got my multi-effects unit that will provide the guitar tones I desire, not the Trio Plus inbuilt tones. Next is setup 3, which is the same as setup 1 and 2, but instead of headphones, let's say you have a guitar amp that you'd like to play through. In this example, the guitar amp has to output the guitar signal as well as the Trio Plus drum and bass. So you should ensure that your amp is at the cleanest setting possible with gain set low and no effects. Otherwise, your drum and bass will be colored with any gain, distortion, or effects from your amp. So keep it clean. Now the final setup requires the most amount of gear but provides you with the most flexibility and sound. So now adding on to setup number 3, instead of the Trio Plus sending the guitar signal and the drum and bass all to our guitar amp, we add a cable from the Trio Plus mixer output to a PA system or a speaker, and all the drum and bass will now be sent exclusively to the PA system, and all your guitars will be sent to your guitar amp separately. Now the final thing you can include in this setup is the optional FS3X foot switch, which provides you with more hands-free control when using the pedal in a live setting. So with everything in mind, let's talk about all the pros and cons, starting with the good. Now if you're looking for a super easy, simple way to create your own instant grooves and backing tracks, now this is a wonderful pedal. It gives you plenty of options and ideas for beats and grooves and sounds that you may not have entertained previously, and that's what I like about this pedal. For instance, a lot of my progressions are alt rock or pop progressions, but I found myself really enjoying using the hip hop and electronic band to jam with. So it's a great way to spark creativity and think outside your musical box. Additionally, it works as a standalone looper, but also one where you can create separate song sections. And that is a feature that is lacking in a lot of entry-level looper pedals. So instead of jamming and looping off one progression over and over, you can cycle through up to 5 different progressions, which makes things a lot more interesting. If you've never jammed with real life musicians, I think this is also a good way to dip your toes into that. It emulates that sort of environment and gets you thinking about how your guitar parts work around other instruments. Now, as far as things I didn't really like, I think the inbuilt effects are not too bad and they do the job, but I didn't really like how they were tied specifically to a genre. I think if you could cycle through different inbuilt effects regardless of whatever band genre was playing or being used, I think that would be more flexible and useful. Now, in terms of teaching the band progressions and guitar parts, it works well with simple chords and riffs, but if you're doing anything fairly complex or you're trying to rip polyphia riffs, it's not going to really spit out the best results. So when you're using this pedal, try to simplify whatever riff or part you have to a basic chord progression first, and you'll get the best results. I also found that with progressions where I was trying to push or change chords on the upbeat, it would struggle to pick that up and it would make changes on the beat. So who's this right for? Well, I really think those looking to get creative with ideas and improvising. If jamming with a band is something you've never done before and you don't know other musos, then this is a great chance to get some experience. If your songwriting is getting stagnant and you're after some fresh inspiration, then this is a great option. I will say though that you should at least have a rough idea of basic songwriting, improvising, and theory before using this pedal. It's not going to spit out an instant backing track for you with no input, so you get out what you put in. If you have a decent chord progression or part, it can work with that. But if you're expecting it to write from scratch and just give you all these great backing tracks, it's not going to happen. If you're looking to recreate backing tracks or grooves for existing songs, then I probably wouldn't recommend this as a solution. Now, creating specific grooves or bass lines is kind of out of your control. Now, sure, you could use a progression from a famous song and could maybe get a band part close to the original, but it's not meant to be something that you use to refine down to the granular details. It's more of a tool for ideas and inspiration. Having said that, what you can do is use a progression from a famous song and maybe create your own spin on it, like I did in the demo. So that's it for this demo and brief tutorial and review of the DigiTech Trio Plus pedal. If you got any questions, then please let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time on Guitars Already Hero. Cheers.